Today we check out an incredibly rare signature guitar from Gibson. This is the Billy Morrison Gibson Les Paul. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode on the Squealing Pig Guitars YouTube channel. My name is Ben Keightley, I've been playing guitar for 10 years, 5 of those professionally, and today I'm going to be taking you through the awesome and rare Billy Morrison signature Les Paul. So sit back and relax, grab a coffee or a beer, and enjoy today's episode on the Billy Morrison Gibson Les Paul signature. So let's get started. Okay, so I've got the case now on my chair. As you can see, this is a very custom Gibson USA case. It's a very iconic English guitar player, so let's open it up and see what we get. Billy Morrison is a guitar player who's best known for his work with Billy Idol. He mainly plays rhythm guitar, but he's also been in some other very significant bands like The Cult. From first glance, you might think this is a Les Paul Custom, because obviously it looks a little bit like Steve Jones's Les Paul Custom, but it is in fact a Les Paul Standard, as it only has one layer of binding and no split diamond inlay. This example does have a little bit of lacquer checking. I'll try and get that on the camera. No guitar is safe from checking, but white guitars definitely show off checking more easily. And checking is basically when the wood will expand or contract due to temperature change, and the lacquer, which is hard, will crack as it's not malleable. The main design inspiration for this guitar comes from Steve Jones's iconic Les Paul Custom from the band Sex Pistols. I'll put a picture up now. And Billy Morrison wanted to basically replicate that kind of creamed out white look that you get on a classic 80s Les Paul Custom. So they called the finish Tobacco White. They also have that same finish on the headstock, which is really rare to see on a Gibson. I've never seen that before. And apparently it took a couple of years for that to be approved from Gibson, as they've never done it before. And apparently it took forever to get the right kind of perlo material, the right tone on it, on the Gibson logo and the crown. So a lot of thought had gone into this guitar, and it was truly a custom guitar. So let's talk about the construction of this wonderful guitar. So we have a chambered mahogany body to start off with, and a carved maple top. We have a mahogany neck and ebony fingerboard. The neck profile on this one is a slim 60s, which is really comfortable. The really kind of custom element to this guitar is the pickups. We have a set of Seymour Duncans. In the bridge we have a JB, and in the neck we have a 59 inspired PAF. As Billy Morrison is a rhythm guitar player, his pickup choice is going to be very important to make sure he doesn't get in the way of the lead guitar player, making sure that he's focusing on the kind of lower mid-range of his sound and is not too sparkly. Whilst doing the research for this video, I actually came across a really interesting story told by Billy on the Trogleys Guitar Show. Apparently when these guitars were actually being manufactured, there was a raid on the Gibson factory which was heavily publicised, and 100 of these Billy Morrison guitars were actually confiscated as they used ebony on the fingerboards. That means there's 100 less in production than they intended to, and makes these guitars even rarer. There's a few discrepancies on different fretboard materials used in this era as well, so obviously ours today has the lovely full fret ebony one, but there has been models that have the rosewood as well as baked maple. Baked maple might sound like a bit of a weird choice. The reason they were doing this is after the raid, they basically had to use a substitute for ebony as there was restrictions on that material. So that was the birth of baked maple fretboards as well as rich light.
So let's hear this bad boy in action.
So what are my final thoughts on this guitar? I have to be honest guys, I absolutely loved it. This guitar really sang well. The condition isn't perfect, obviously there is lack of checking and stuff on it, but it is a really nice example, and I really like the pickup choice in this. Probably keep this guitar for rock and roll and metal. I wouldn't really play like kind of clean stuff on it, but it did perform nicely on the cleans. But for kind of heavy riffs, them kind of classic tones, especially on the White Wedding that I did in the intro, I just loved the kind of harmonic range that this guitar had. It wasn't too fizzy, it wasn't too bass heavy, it just kind of sat in that perfect kind of mid-range spot that a rhythm guitar player would do. Some of the features I really liked of this guitar was the locking bridge and stop tailpiece when I was changing the guitar strings on this guitar. The bridge didn't fall off, which is a really nice touch. Also, the slim 60s neck really lends itself nicely to kind of shred playing or kind of metal playing. The Grover tuners as well were really smooth and kept in tune very nicely. And as I said, the pickups just sounded incredible, and the ebony fretboard was very sleek to play along. My only criticism would be that I'm not a big fan of the cream headstock. I'd prefer to see kind of like a black, I'd prefer to see a more traditional kind of black overlay like they normally do, or maybe even like a Gibson custom logo, I'm not too sure. But I wasn't a big fan of what they did there with the cream, but it's a very small touch. Other than that, I love this guitar. I think it's really quirky with the kind of Union Jack case alongside the story of how rare it is. Thank you so much for listening to today's video, guys. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed and consider subscribing. At 2,000 subscribers, we're going to be giving away a Silver Sky PRS guitar for completely free. All you need to do is be subscribed and comment down below. But thank you so much for watching. I've been Ben, this is Squealing Pig Guitars, and I'll see you in the next video. Keep rocking, guys. See you soon.